How can you use AI in your business consulting to help your company grow, to help your company win? So many times on the Everyday AI show, we talk to experts who are in very specific fields from all over the place. And today I'm excited to have a general conversation about practical ways that we can use AI to grow our companies and to ultimately help us win. So if you're joining us live, thank you. If you're joining us on the podcast, make sure to check out the show notes as always and go to youreverydayai.com. Sign up for that free daily newsletter. But welcome to Everyday AI. My name's Jordan. I'm the host. And before we get into our live stream and podcast, let's first take a look at what's going on in the world of AI news. Speaking of business consulting, Accenture is going all in on AI. So they just announced today that they're looking to double the headcount for their employees working in and around AI to about 80,000, or more than 10% of its current global workforce. The consulting company announced in July a $3 billion, that's billion with a B. They announced a $3 billion investment into generative AI and AI for their clients over the coming 3 years. So, after a very slow start from business consulting companies, Accenture is now really picking up the steam. Next piece of AI news. This piece of AI news is good for your heart. That's because a new study from Oxford shows that AI can predict heart attack risk up to 10 years in the future. So they use AI to more accurately analyze CT scans, and this tech could potentially save thousands of lives and improve treatment for patients. So the study was funded by the British Heart Foundation, and they used AI to analyze data from routine cardiac CT scans. And they found that even patients with seemingly healthy arteries could be at risk for future heart attacks, which is some very exciting breakthrough news for AI in the medical field. Last but not least, OpenAI is seeking more funding for superintelligence. So in a recent interviews with the Financial Times, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman said he is seeking more financial support from Microsoft as his company pushes forward with research into creating superintelligence through artificial intelligence models. That's like the next level of artificial general intelligence. It's when the machines no longer need us. So OpenAI is focused on researching how to make artificial general intelligence, AGI, safe and beneficial, as well as developing more powerful AI agents. So that may be a little off in the future, but don't worry. If you want to know about how to use AI today and how to use it to grow your business and not AGI, that's what today's show is for. So I'm very excited to have on the show, and please help me welcome. We have Damon Pistulka, who is the co-founder of Exit Your Way. Damon, thank you for joining the Everyday AI show.
All right, Jordan, glad to be here.
All right, I'm excited. Well, hey, first, give everyone a brief overview of a little bit of what you do at Exit Your Way.
Yeah, well, we help business owners improve their businesses, build value, and sell their businesses when they're ready. It's really about generating wealth with your business for whatever you want to do next.
So for all the business owners out there, maybe this show's for you. So Damon, a little bit more. So is it only when companies are kind of get at that point where they want to sell their company, or are you working with companies over the long term, on a multiple year kind of growth track?
We work with them long term, definitely. I mean, we've got clients right now that have been with us over 5 years, but we've been to quintuple plus, values and things like that and revenues with them, because we're really about helping owners create the exit they want when they want, and that could be a decade from now. We're really just helping people build very valuable businesses.
Yeah. And I'd say just the world of growing your business has changed, especially I'd say if you're a small business owner, with generative AI. I've experienced it myself. I have a small business and I'm using it in all aspects of my business. I'm curious, Damon, how are you using, different generative AI systems in, whether it's your day-to-day or your week-to-week, but how are you finding value in using AI right now?
Well, us personally in our business, we use it extensively for research, combining, there's just so many things that it's read almost everything, right? And you're looking at it and I say, how can I combine this huge massive data into something that I can understand. That's huge. Or even things as simple as generating ideas for content, right? If you want to look at content or pain points for the people that you want to talk with, just understanding those kind of things, because we all have these, perspectives, and that really helps us take the blinders off and really understand what we're trying to do and be better at what we're doing.
And hey, as a reminder, thank you everyone for joining us live. Mike Lammer is joining us. Thanks for joining us. Harvey Tuck saying he's happy to be here. Good conversation. What do you want to know about how to use AI to grow your business? Get your questions in. We'll see if we can tackle them here live on the show. So one thing, Damon, I'm curious about. So when business owners are coming to you, are they curious about generative AI? Are they asking you, "Hey, Damon, how can I use AI to grow my business's value?" Or are you kind of introducing it? I'm always curious if people like you and I are a little ahead of the curve, or if everyone out there is already figuring generative AI out.
For me, it's definitely helping to introduce, because oftentimes the businesses we work with, they're focused on what they're doing, right? They're really good at what they do. And when you think about, well, have you thought about using AI for something like this? They're like, what, and whether it's a medical application, that was one of the latest things that we've really been helping one of our clients do, is they have to take large amounts of medical data and summarize it succinctly and accurately. And it's really interesting, the applications we've been able to research and then develop with them to do that, or something as simple as, just the simple things like making you better. If you've got, say, an accounting or a finance person that doesn't know how to do something in Excel, I mean, just the simple stuff that AI can do to help them be an expert in a program that's been around forever, like Excel, to solve whatever challenges they want, or data analysis, from that financial perspective. It's just so much it can do right now, but we're introducing it to these clients because they don't realize how it can help them in their daily lives.
Yeah. And what's kind of, and walk me through the, maybe the typical first reaction. So, you have these business owners, and they obviously have clear goals in mind when they're working with you, right? Like they're trying to create some sort of exit plan, some sort of strategy. So they're trying to presumably either grow things toward the end, or to set up systems that make something, more sustainable and more scalable. But what does that look like maybe when a business owner that's been doing some of those things, like you said, Damon, maybe they've been, spending hours and hours in Excel, even if that's maybe not one of their strong suits? What's kind of the reaction been so far from business owners when they're looking to grow, looking to sell, and they see this AI thing working for the first time?
Well, it's amazing, really, their reaction, because they're like, wow, I had no idea that I had tools like this that were simple and available to me. Especially with these latest, the latest, whether you're using any of these, the latest iterations of these things have gotten so easy for people to really generate useful tasks for them every day. That's been not even to mention the larger, more complex things that are going on, but just initially these fundamental things that it can help with. They're so excited about it.
Yeah, and then already a great question here. So let's take this in. So Michael Forgy asking, what are the most popular types of businesses that are bought and sold, at least, maybe in the areas that you're working in, Damon?
Well, there's, when you look at what are the most commonly sold kinds of businesses right now, I think there's a lot of online businesses that get transferred. You look at some of the special marketplaces for those things move around a lot. And, but you just look at the most common kind of businesses. They get, the Main Street kind of businesses are the ones that sell the most. But online businesses now, you can go to the online brokerage places and see thousands of them. Everything from an Amazon business. I mean, those product businesses on Amazon change hands a lot, and those kind of things definitely are popular.
Well, I'm gonna try to better understand this myself and maybe explain it to the audience. So, are you saying, kind of like marketplaces that people go to, sell an online business, maybe something like an Empire Flippers,
Yep.
something like that, where you go and list a business, right?
Yeah, yeah. Those are the places where you can find the popular ones. And then I guess it's not coming to me right now, but there's another one that's just for online businesses. Empire Flippers is more for like e-commerce kind of businesses and some online, but there's some that are actually just for like, I've got a website that's selling this kind of product, or I got an Amazon business, and it's really pretty good. Those are really pretty good, where you can find a lot of different deals there.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I'm curious because in this scenario, maybe when someone's listing, kind of a business they created for sale, or kind of like what you said, Damon. Maybe they created a pretty successful Amazon business or something like that, and maybe something happened, during the pandemic and supply chains, and maybe it's just not as profitable as they would like. In these scenarios, are you able to find maybe areas where generative AI can make such a great difference? Because maybe some of these business owners just didn't know, and it could make their day-to-day so much easier. Is that something that you're finding now, specifically with this shift toward putting things online? Maybe the pandemic threw a wrench in people's plans over the long term. Is this something you're seeing?
Well, yeah, it comes primarily in right now in the marketing, right? Because the generative AI and others, it's so robust in its knowledge about what are really good marketing techniques, what's language we should use, what are the things that we're missing in our current marketing objectives, because it can browse your stuff now, it can compare to others, it can do so many things that a small company can't afford to go out and hire a very expensive CMO. But with AI, you can bring them into your company by taking the time to really explain your company and then let it do that work for you. It's amazing what it can do, down to how do I structure my web page appropriately, because all these things that you would normally go out today, and experts are really good at this, right? But if you're a small business and you're trying to bootstrap, or you're constrained on the amount of cash you got, you can go a long ways with AI compared to where you're at today.
And already we have two different people kind of asking about privacy. So, Cecilia here asking on the back end of her question, saying, how are you getting businesses beyond the legal and privacy challenges to start using AI? What are the basic safeguards you are helping them establish to start using AI? So yeah, that's a great question, Damon, because if you are maybe using it more from the high level marketing end, probably not as much that you need to do in terms of privacy if you're just doing, competitive intelligence or competitive research. But, what about for those companies that want to go a little deeper and maybe they want to use AI to, help them with their bookkeeping? What are some safeguards that companies should keep in mind when using AI?
That's a great point. With our clients, we're only going to use companies that are developing stuff that ensures privacy. Like we've got some that we have to use HIPAA compliance with, and you just got to make sure you're working with the right companies to do that. You can't just go out to whatever AI site that you like and start working with them. Obviously, because the privacy is not there. That's where you really have to go to the companies that are developing the apps that do and are certified and protect your privacy like you need to. Really, there's limited application for that, though. I think that more often small business owners don't need to worry about it because your competition already knows. They already know what you're doing. You're not going to be doing anything special. You're probably just going to be doing something that they're not. And although unless it's some secret IP thing that formulas or something, or like I said, HIPAA compliance, it's really not as big a concern as people make it to be.
Damon, in your experience since with Exit Your Way and helping companies specifically use AI to, create more business value. What are some of the most common kind of wins that you've seen, right? Because there's no shortage of way to use generative AI to help companies grow, to make them more profitable. But what are some common themes that you've seen from the companies you've worked with that you're like, hey, most, 9 times out of 10 or more often than not, this approach using generative AI is a win?
Yeah, it's in the two areas mainly, or three really. One is in the marketing, right? It come back to that again because it helps them so much without having to hire a CMO or something like that. It can get their internal marketing people a long ways down the road without spending that money. The second thing is as I talked about too, is helping their internal so-called experts be better because they've got access to this wide range of knowledge. It doesn't matter if I'm a developer, if I'm a finance person I talked out, or I'm a medical expert. There are so many different things that it can help us answer questions that might give us that one idea, the second idea that really helps to answer the question we need answered to help that person move forward. And the last thing is data analysis. AI will put together patterns that we can't see in data, or take multiple sources of data and pull some really interesting points from it that we won't be able to come to without significant effort. And that's where really those three areas are really driving our clients to be able to go forward faster.
Oh, great. Look, great breakdown there. So marketing, helping, number one, marketing. Number two, helping internal experts become better at their job. Number three, data analysis. That's a huge one, Damon. And hey, if you are just joining us now, thank you for joining us. We have Damon Pistulka, the co-founder of Exit Your Way, and we're going over different ways how AI can help businesses just win, right? I love number three that you just mentioned, Damon. It's one of my favorites, actually. So when we're talking about data analysis, I'm someone personally, I love spreadsheets. I love data. I love Google Sheets. I love creating formulas, right? However, AI is better, right? Like I can go into ChatGPT, use the mode that's advanced data analysis is the mode inside of ChatGPT that does that. And it just goes nonstop and it goes faster, right? And it's almost always better than me or any other, person who's working in data. What's a piece of advice that you can give to people that are maybe like, my numbers are important. I'm not sure if I want to leave that up to a tool like ChatGPT, but maybe what's a piece of advice that you can give to people, Damon, on actually using it for data?
Well, I think in the big complex data sets, I mean, it can pull out things that you don't understand, or you're not going to see. Now, that's one thing. The other thing that we see a lot of people and really helps us help others is what should we be talking about? What are some of the things that we're not thinking about in this data that we should be? And that's where it really looks at things differently, like we can't easily do. And then you begin to go, okay, here is something that we should be looking at that we're not now, that will make a big difference for us. It's just, and I see someone's talking about advanced data analysis for Google ads. I mean, that's a really good use of AI. It's like pulling all the sources of leads and things together in your marketing and going, okay, what are the commonalities across these? Because it'll find things that you just don't understand. And we can't easily determine, but that key piece of information that it pulls out could be huge for you going further in your, getting better return on your spend and things like that, or even in your business to really understand how to shape the operations of your business to better meet customer needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great point, Damon, that you bring up. And I think it's important for people to understand about generative AI. And I think, for the most part here, it seems that our conversation is kind of going around ChatGPT, but, Damon just said, ask questions, right, of generative AI. You don't have to know everything. You don't even have to know what the data is. You can upload a spreadsheet with tens of thousands of data points and you're scratching your head and you can say, hey, tell me what this is all about and tell me how it relates to my business. And Chat GPT or most other generative AI systems will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe had a question here as well. Let's bring it up here. So David, thanks for joining us. David said, on the data analysis side, what are some AI tools that best align with that? So, Damon, we were kind of talking about ChatGPT and advanced data analysis, but is there any other kind of data tool in the AI space you might recommend?
I really wouldn't recommend any specific ones. I would say go out. The thing about it is the AI tools are evolving so quickly. What I can be talking about today, it could be gone tomorrow or surpassed by someone else. So I think you really need to look at it. The ones that we have been looking at, specific industry specific, are in healthcare, which are so interesting to be able to take, like, say you've got a patient that's been in the doctor a lot about a certain thing. They got a serious injury, and I've seen 17 different doctors, and the way that it can summarize that kind of data to pull out relevant points is really incredible, really incredible, and make it easy to understand.
Yeah, Damon brings up a great point. I actually had an episode like 2 weeks ago saying, hey, be careful of what AI tool that you use, because a big update from an OpenAI or a Google or a Meta could wipe out that tool. So it's great advice. And even personally, I say probably stick to the bigger systems for that very reason. Some of these small ones, they're not great at really developing, a unique selling proposition. So they could be gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Great. We have great questions today. I'm excited for this one, Damon. We'll get to this one. So Arthur asking, can we double down on some learnings and examples of success and setbacks? So I think we've talked a little bit on the success, unless you have, Damon, one kind of a good success story you'd want to talk about. Otherwise, maybe what are some setbacks, by using generative AI to help grow your business value?
Well, the setbacks can be if you're trying to get it to do something it's just not going to do, right? And you get so far into looking at something, and if it's not going anywhere, you just need to go, okay, maybe it's not ready, right? There were some things in the beginning where we were trying to do some of, like, the medical stuff. We were trying that a year plus ago, and it was just like, it just wasn't ready. Things weren't ready and able to go like we wanted to do. And you look at the setbacks is just really wasting time trying to get it to do something it's really not meant to do at this point. And something where you need ultimate accuracy or just things like that you gotta, it's just not good at some things yet.
That's a good point. Yeah. And I think maybe, Damon, it's worth pointing out, because we talked about, data analysis, and I also wouldn't trust ChatGPT to math, right? ChatGPT by itself is not good at math. If you are using advanced data analysis, it is great at advanced computation. So that's a great call out, is you do have to really know what you're doing, and make sure that you're using kind of the right feature or function for the right reason as well. Damon, maybe I'm curious, because I'm sure you're working with a lot of different clients, and it sounds like ChatGPT and other Gen AI tools have become a great resource for you and your clients looking to increase business value. So we talked about those three earlier, the marketing, helping internal people become better experts, data analysis. Is there one of those areas that even for you on a day-to-day basis that you keep going back to, because the value that it creates is so great? Is there any one area that you keep using generative AI and you're like, wow, how did I do this? Or how did my companies do this before generative AI?
It's really about making experts smarter. I mean, for us, it is, because if you go into we're generalists in some ways in what we do, because when you talk about building business value, it hits different spots. It could be an operational, it could be a financial, it could be this things. And for us to be able to go in and really understand how to use, like a chat GPT plus, and then to understand how to feed it the right prompts to be able to get the information. The information's in there. It's just really getting the right information out by asking the right questions, giving it the right information. But to make you smarter every single day to help your clients better, that's what we come back to it all the time for that. It's like, because I don't know what I don't know, and maybe it can help me know more of what I don't know that I need to know for my clients.
Yeah, that's such a good use case. And I think especially, when we talk small business owners, right? We said, hey, whether you have an online company or, a main street company, I'd say in those scenarios, Damon, it's not like these companies always, I mean, sometimes they do, but it's not like they always have the budget to go hire more people, to maybe hire someone in admin, to hire a consultant to help them grow, right? Maybe can we talk a little bit about, because I love your example of helping, experts become even better in their role. But I like to always encourage people to look at, ChatGPT or generative AI as the employee they can't afford right now, or the help that they necessarily don't have on their team. Maybe what are some ways that companies trying to increase their value and to get some good wins? What are some ways that they can do that, and maybe look at ChatGPT or generative AI almost as like the person that they don't have right now on their team?
Yeah, well, it will help them understand, again, what you don't know. I mean, everything from, we've used it to help build processes in businesses. We've helped it to help, and I mean, I'm not just like, hey, I want to, do this whatever simple process, in detailed processes, in pretty technical businesses, like, okay, what is my proposal process? What is the process for completing this type of work? And really, like you said, being able to do things that we don't have someone to do, that we don't necessarily know how to do, but it'll spit out what I want, and I can go, okay, I'm 80% of the way there on something, and finalize it and go. Because there's so much that you can have it help you with.
Yeah, I love that, processes and procedures, because if you are a small business trying to grow, it can be some of those more mundane tasks that can really weigh a small business owner down, or a solopreneur down, or a small team down. Damon, what are some practical tips that maybe you have for people specifically around how they can use maybe ChatGPT to help develop those processes and procedures? Because sometimes if you've never had them, you don't necessarily know how. So what's some advice that maybe you have?
Well, I think the thing that really changed it for us is when we took the time to explain in detailed terms who we are, what we do, and how we help people. And because if you give background, your business, what you're trying to accomplish, even personal things about you that will help the AI to understand more about how it should act, how it should think, then it can give you better solutions. If I'm an engineering firm and I'm trying to develop something, a process for something, if it knows we're an engineering firm like this, we're this size, we do these things, this is how we work, these are our internal systems. I mean, if you take it and you develop 5-10 pages, whatever, of details, and ask the AI to say, what do you need to really do this? Ask me 100 questions, ask me 1,000 questions, and you answer them. It can give you so much higher quality information back. That is the first thing I would say if anybody wants to get in it. Have the AI ask you everything it knows to be a good X for you.
Y'all, do you have your everyday AI notebook in front of you? Because Damon just dropped one of the things I always teach people, right? So we have our free Prime Prompt Polish course we do twice a week. And one of the things that we always teach people is ask the AI questions, right? You don't have to come off as an expert when you're working with a generative AI system. It's oftentimes better just to ask questions. All right. I think we have time for one more question as we wrap things up. And this is an interesting one. So George's son said, we recently saw the appointment of the AI-powered CEO called Mika at Dictador, a Polish beverage company. What's your opinion on that? I'll leave it up. I'll let you take this first, Damon, because I have some thoughts on this. But yes, this is real. We covered this on the show a couple of weeks ago, but a Polish beverage company, I don't know if it was more for press, but they did appoint a human-like robot with AI to be their CEO and to make all their decisions. What's your thoughts on that one, Damon?
Well, I think that, I'm mixed, right? Because from a certain standpoint, it's nice because it could work really well. But then in others, I just don't know how creative and flexible that AI can really be at this point. I mean, we can operate in weird and awesome ways in our minds. And I just don't know. I know we're not there yet with AI. That's the only thing. I mean, in situations, it's not going to it doesn't make the right decisions. That's the only thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think this was more of a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
But I love the concept, though, of, hey, maybe you don't like running the day-to-day. Maybe you love marketing or you love, accounting, but you're a business owner. I think it's okay to kind of train a ChatGPT chat to help you run the business. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know about the actual AI robot walking around and telling you what to do. All right, we've covered so much here, Damon. You kind of had your 3 points, different ways that you can use generative AI. I love the concept of asking questions, but maybe if there's one takeaway that you really want people to kind of glean from this conversation on how they can use AI and consulting to help their companies win, what is that one major point that you want people to leave with?
Well, and if you're not at least reading about how AI can apply to your business, and you're not looking at AI as if you're in business and not experimenting with AI right now, you're screwed. Really. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're in trouble because there are others that are. There are others that are using it for the things that we talked about today, and you've talked about in other shows, I'm sure, that they are going to pull ahead farther because of it. So I don't want to be doomsday about it, but really there are things that it's going to continue to evolve and do that if you're not using it in your business, or at least understanding what it's being used for in your kind of business, you're missing out.
Oh, absolutely. I'd say there's nothing doomsday about that. I couldn't co-sign on that one quick enough, Damon. That's such good advice. All right. We covered so much. Don't worry. There's always more in the newsletter, but Damon, I have to thank you so much for coming on the Everyday AI Show to talk about how AI in business consulting can help companies win. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And hey, as a reminder, a lot of good information from Damon. So make sure you go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for the free daily newsletter. Every single day, we break down the conversation in much more detail, share additional resources, and lay out a practical and tactical way that you can apply all of this to grow your company, grow your career. That's it for today. We're going to be back tomorrow. We actually have the marketing director at NVIDIA. I'm excited about that one. So Hope to see you back for that one and more at Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.